Everybody out there in YouTube reseller land. Hope y'all having a great morning. The skies are blue. The birds are chipping, whatever. And I'm alive. And Todd's alive. The old guys are still here with you. How are you doing this morning, Todd?
Just fine.
Oh, so is Mr. Grumpy Puss up this morning?
How are you this morning, Tom?
I'm doing good. I didn't check my makeup before I got on here. Don't know if I've got peanut butter around my mouth or not. Who all's in the good morning, Lag? Let's see. Good morning, Jabus. You were first. Good morning, Lag. It's always a great day to see you.
Peanut butter breakfast of champions.
Chastity, lovely to see you. Hello, Hank. Glad you could make it. And this, everybody's little sweetheart. Good to see you this morning, Mike. How are you, dude? Ping, lovely. Glad you just amazing. Get up so early just to catch my show and Todd's show. Vintage. Oh, good morning to you too. Don't get me playing Lag. Uh, Lag doesn't play games. Lag's too grown up for that. Uh, mm-mm. Peanut butter on toast. Cup of coffee. That's breakfast. Now I'm having a Coke to chase it down with. Because y'all are my little homies. So, Todrick, how was sales yesterday?
Oh, it's pretty average. I got 6 going out for, let's see how much. I'm looking. $186.93.
You don't pick it up. Gwen's will make you get that job back at Home Depot.
No, that's more money made in a day than I made at Home Depot.
Well, I mean, Todd, you and I are not like the people that, requires, how do I say this without sounding like a snob? That doesn't, this is extra money for us. So $100 a day times 5 or 6 or 7 days is $500 to $700. That's some pretty good extra money each week. You know, even at $500, let's say $500 divided by 40. That's $12.50 an hour. You're gonna have to go to McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or Bucky's to make over that per hour.
I don't like to think of it as extra money though, because the lifestyle I want to live is different than what it would be without the reselling money.
Right. Well, when I say extra money, I'm talking about it to
It's not,
get.
you're right, it's not necessary. Life will go on without it, but I just don't want to live in mediocre poor world.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Is like the necessities are taken care of. It goes to pay for all the extra stuff, the increase in lifestyle, the trips, all that kind of mess.
Right. So, but, Yeah, even though I have a pool, without a new liner, it's not going to do any good. So
Right.
and the
So that's
reselling money will pay for that. So it's kind of sort of necessary to make it.
right. Well, it's
But
necessary to have the more of a lifestyle that you want than just like you said, getting by.
right.
Uh,
So
hey, Julie.
it's
There you go,
I,
Julie.
I just
Behave
don't
yourself. No boobies.
I just don't like being poor,
Yeah. Uh,
which if we had to live on my retirement and Gwen's retirement, we would eat and keep the electricity on, and that'd be about it. Just never go anywhere, do anything. Uh, get our clothes at the rummage sale, which I do anyway.
right.
But it's like that.
Good morning, Julie.
Hey, Tom. Hey, Todd.
What are you doing?
I know. Surprise, right?
Yeah, I haven't talked to you live in like 15 years.
It's been a long time.
So what's up?
Well, I just want to share with y'all. I'm going through some tests.
You are.
Yeah,
Not your daughter. You.
me. This is me
Okay.
this time. Yeah.
Well, have you got some ailments happening?
Hey, Tom, how can I turn off all this sound so I don't really hear y'all in repetition?
You need to turn off your mute your YouTube. Otherwise, you'll
Okay,
get lag.
I got it. Thank you. I didn't know that.
You don't want to get lag.
Yeah, you don't want to get lag. He
Well, I
might
think I
not.
know that.
He might move into your. He might move into your basement and never leave.
No, we live in a one bedroom, 100 square foot home. Yeah, I don't know, we're all getting older and I'm getting older and some things have started happening and they're just gonna I'm getting an MRI and a couple of other things going on and so yeah, I might not be in the group a whole lot. I'm there every morning, y'all. Sometimes y'all don't see me, but I'm there and
Is it
just
is it something really serious or is it just
well,
old people stuff?
Well, she's getting tests, so she doesn't know if it's
yeah,
serious yet.
we don't know yet. We just don't know
Right.
yet. So
Well,
You sound good.
well, thanks.
yeah, you do.
I feel pretty good. This morning I feel pretty good. It has created a whole ton of anxiety. I've never had an issue with anxiety, and now I have complete sympathy for people who do because, wow, I cannot believe how it can make you feel.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't like
sure.
being anxious. I
Yeah.
avoid anxious.
I got something funny to tell y'all,
Okay.
Do tell.
and I don't mean to take over the show, but we had an
Oh,
incident
go
with
ahead. Tom never has anything important to say.
That's right. I'm just a useless babbling old man. Go ahead, Julie. You
we had a
you got the
we
you
had
got
an
the
incident
camera.
with the post office yesterday over packages.
An accident.
An incident.
Oh, an incident.
And I know most resellers are struggling with the post office and delivery and getting things to their customers. And I have an issue getting my supplies that I need to run my business. But ours is a personal vendetta um, from our mail carrier who used to be our neighbor. They hide our packages at the post office and they don't send them to us. So after a week of not getting any mail, I went to the post office with the police. They pulled 32 packages out of the back room. 32 large flat rate boxes that weigh between 25 and 30 pounds. That was done by accident? I'm suing the post office.
Oh my gosh.
It was that all your packages?
Every one of them. And we were told there was a truck out that had more on it, and no truck came to my house.
Wow.
Watch your post office. Watch them carefully. There are more than one reasons why Trump wants to get rid of that entity.
Um, that's just crazy.
It is crazy. The cop was floored. He didn't even know what. At first, he was like, "Oh yeah, this old lady just wants her pair of pants and her, whatever." No, he was floored. He couldn't believe it.
No, this was all incoming stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's weird. My post office people are perfect. I mean, they're great. I love them.
I
That's
I started going to the little Pineville post office, and they want every package attaboy they can get because they're trying to stay in business. Because
yeah.
we have two good sized ones. We have the Highway 51 branch, and we also have the Ballantyne branch, and they're pretty big, post offices. So I guess when you come down to the logistics of it, you really don't have to have the Pineville office, but since they're doing such a good volume, um, they stay open.
Between our town and Fort Benning, we probably have 10 post offices. And
Dang.
we have one main hub, and everything goes to the main hub before it gets dispersed to the satellite offices.
Right.
This has been going on for a year and a half. And we have had agreement after agreement with our postmaster. We were going to pick them up here, pick them up there. I mean, I've got a log and a year and a half of track. So we're, I might not be on eBay too much longer. I might not have to. Fingers crossed.
Well, good luck with that.
That's
Wouldn't that be nice?
crazy.
Hey, I'm a sharing person. Tom, you better be nice to me.
So,
No, I'm serious. But good luck with that. I
Oh,
mean,
is there a monetary amount applied to the suit?
well, we're going to restructure it now because of this thing going on with me, the stress and the what it has done to me. We're going to include some pain and suffering and some medical. I firmly believe they need to be taught a lesson. I told the lady yesterday, this is enough. This has to stop. I think she understood firmly what I was talking about. I told her I had a lawyer. I told her not only will people lose jobs, this is hundreds of thousands of dollars. People will go to jail. And then I looked at her straight in her face and I said, I need your full name and your federal employee ID number, please. And I thought she was going to turn into a puddle, but she wrote it down and she gave it to me.
yeah,
Hmm.
James is right. Suing the government's hard to do, but the post office is actually not part of the U.S. government.
I can sue that station individually.
Yeah, I was just
So, is the whole office in cahoots with the? You described it was your
Mm,
carrier. Is it
mm.
the whole office that's out to get you, or just?
Many of them are her friends. Back when we used to go there to pick up my packages, when we would walk in, oh, they would start laughing, just laughing, and it was obvious. It's been made more than obvious.
uh-huh.
Sadie
It's a
wants to be a
mess.
witness for a small fee.
It is a mess. Oh, I had my son with me yesterday and my daughter, and I said, I need somebody's phone on. I want somebody's phone on the whole time.
So, what did you tell the police that?
We had
Um,
the police involved last summer. Last summer, my mail carrier brought my regular mail, and she chose to leave with my boxes in the back of her truck. And she knew they were back there. That's theft. I had 30 days to have her arrested, and I didn't do it. I chose not to do it. She's human. I know she's got kids. Her kids used to come over here and swim. We were friends. But other people in the neighborhood complained on her and she thought it was us. So she started taking it out on us. She knew I had a business. She knew I needed my boxes. She started holding my boxes. So yeah, she's got friends down there and so they could see where the report had been made back in the summer. The police could. Um and I told him, I said, they're intentionally holding my packages. And he said, yeah, that's theft. He said they cannot do that.
Well, I hope.
And when he saw 32 of them come out of the back room, he was like, yeah.
What was the postmarks on them?
One went as far back to the 22nd.
Wow.
That's as far back. That was the latest one that had arrived on the 22nd.
They just put them back there and refuse to
Mm-hmm,
deliver it to you.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They just stack them up in a corner somewhere. Yeah. Oh, and of course they might tell their supervisor, "Oh, I can't lift that; it's too heavy." Well, you got a job. It's no more than 30 pounds or so. You took this job knowing you'd have to lift heavy stuff. Do you need to be on light duty? It's just we've heard it all, and I'm done with it. So we're moving forward.
Well, good luck with it. I hope it
I,
goes
I
your
just
well.
So, did the police have to acquire a search warrant from a judge,
mm-mm,
or
mm-mm, mm-mm. I
the
called that.
post office just said, "Oh, come on in"?
Mm-mm. So last Friday, I was going to my doctor, and we went by the post office to pick up packages like we're supposed to, and they didn't have any. Nothing came, which is not right. I know what I've got coming. You look at the tracking, what shows it's in town, you can see. And at any time, I have 20, 30 packages headed my way. So when they didn't have anything at that location, I went on to the doctor. And on the way, I called our police department and I asked if I could get an officer to meet me at our main post office to retrieve our mail. And he said, yes, I could. And I said, okay, after my doctor, I'm going to do that. Well, my doctor's appointment went the way it did, so I did not go to the post office. So yesterday, I called down there and they said, when you get ready to go, just call us, call 911, and we'll have an officer meet you. And that's what he did. And when I got there, the officer was already inside and he was standing at one of the windows talking to somebody. And I just kind of stood over to the side for a little while and waited. And then my son and my daughter and my husband were there, and I went up and approached, and then we were all together talking. But no,
Okay.
there was no warrant. He didn't have to have any kind of, it's not hard. It's not a huge thing, really. Just give me my stuff.
No, I'm gonna be nosy here because I am. If y'all know that, is this all the stuff that you buy? Like you talking about all these packages you get? Is this for like business, or is
Hmm.
this
Yeah, it's
okay?
affected my business by hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay, because I was about to say, honey, you need to turn you need to turn off Timu if that was all for
Oh
you. You know what I
no,
mean?
Tom, I thought you understood that. This was not. This was business packages that I
Okay,
need.
all right, I'm with you
Supplies.
now. I missed that part. I'm kind of slow this morning.
That's okay, honey. They're worth about $130 a piece. When I looked at that crate yesterday sitting in the post office, I should have told that lady, you're looking at about $3,000. That would be a felony to steal, wouldn't it?
I think that's what I was just thinking. That after a certain amount, it becomes a felony.
It is. It is. Oh yeah. That's why people will go to jail. I mean, we know what it is. I have numbers and names, and like I said, it's been a year and a half, and I have done my best to document as much as I can. So I think we're pretty strong.
So, what day did this happen?
That was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Hmm.
I bet your service is better today.
We'll, we'll see. I don't know. She said we should have gotten a truck yesterday afternoon, but we didn't. Nothing came. So I don't
Hmm.
know. But it has been a saga. If it continues to be a saga, I'll keep you updated.
We'll do that. I mean, I personally haven't had any issues with shipping through USPS. For like me shipping a product to Todd or something to Todd, I have no, I've everything's been coming going like it's supposed to.
You
But
sent me something. It's not even my birthday.
no, I hadn't sent you anything yet. I thought
Oh,
I'd just give it to you when we're in Nashville. Uh, but like, and when Scott and Jake sent me things from whatnot that I purchased, it came within like 2 days. But we've had meds that were through our mail order pharmacy that we have to use, and it's taken like 3 weeks to get here, and it's
Mm-hmm.
first class. And my
Mm-hmm.
wife called him and said, "Look, this is not. We never had this problem with Express Scripts, and now we're using CVS's deal." She said, do we need to go ahead and just pay up, you upcharge us for priority mail so we can get it here on time? So she is talking to her HR people about it, and HR people said that they have had other people complaining about using this pharmacy. So that could go back to, hopefully we'll go back to Express Scripts. But that
You
really
know,
doesn't have anything to do with USPS, but
no,
if
it does. It
because
does, Tom.
because Express Scripts came through UPS.
My husband gets his medication through the VA, and it comes
Yeah.
through the mail. He's been on medication since January. Let me tell you how many bottles he's gotten. One. Because of this. They're not just holding my business packages. They're doing it to all our mail. So when I mentioned that to the attorney that my husband's medicine's being affected, he put that in there too. They don't know what they're doing.
Well, keep us informed and let us know what's you find out about it,
I will.
and what you can say. Because your attorney's probably going to fuss at you for saying this morning. So, I
Well,
mean,
as far as I
we always want some
say,
good gossip. We always want some good gossip, but from a legal point, he might have said he might not have said something
no,
about that.
he has told me I could tell the story, the true story. But
Right.
he said when we start this, coming up with exactly what we're suing for and what the charges are going to be and all this stuff, because there's going to be charges in there too. He said then you can't say none of that.
Right.
So
I just have to wonder what they thought doing this would accomplish, because
she
you
thought she
you
would damage.
obviously have the tracking numbers showing it's there at the post office.
She thought she would damage my business, and she did. When this first started happening, we didn't know it was her, and we were still friends with her, or I thought we were still friends with her. And we didn't know what was really going on. We just thought our mail was running late. So here's me talking to her when she would bring my packages. Oh, thank you for bringing them. I need them so bad. If I don't get these packages, my business will suffer. I mean, I said those words myself to her, and then she took them and used them right against me.
Crazy.
It is crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
She had to know she would get caught doing that.
I don't know. Todd, some people aren't so smart.
Well, I'm not, but I wouldn't do that to you.
Well,
That's
then you're smarter than her. I'll be
I
right
wouldn't
back.
even do that to an enemy. I mean, you got to know you're going to get caught.
yeah.
I know.
Uh, on a brighter note, some of you already know, but I'm going to have a grandson in October. We found out on Sunday.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
So Roberta's thinking about kicking out one of the boys so we can set up a nursery. No, 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 no. But yes, we're going to have one. And now, because my daughter-in-law was just convinced she was going to have a little girl, convinced. I don't know. I guess one of the motherly things. So I go into thrift stores and I'm looking at Barbie townhouses. I see a Barbie townhouse for $399, and what was those things like $79 when they were new? So I'm thinking, oh, I'll have to keep an eye on stuff like that, so she'll have stuff when she comes to our house. Lots of stuff. And now it's a boy, and it's like, okay, how many baseball bats can you have? Anyway, I see you got your baby up there, Todd. Why do you wake her up so early in the morning?
Oh, this dog. She wakes us up early.
Oh gosh.
She's up before we are.
Oh God!
Hey, I
He
went.
can't defeat me.
Who allowed Todd to talk this morning? He's not allowed to talk on the show. What the hell? No, there's a rash of stupid people. So y'all are y'all ready for this? Is probably just as good as your story. So Joni says we've been overcharged at the pharmacy. I'm like, what do you mean we've been overcharged? She says they've overcharged us $190 over the last 2 months. I'm like, how the hell is the pharmacy overcharged? Because for those of you who don't know, Joni takes about 11 medicines to deal with all her whatever. Well,
Mute me, Tom, my dog.
yeah. She calls the pharmacy and they said, "Oh, we explained to you why you're being charged more in late January. We told you that due to the price of medicine going up, your copays were going up." And Joni gets her EOB yesterday and looks at her EOB and she's like, "The copays didn't go up. Her local pharmacy decided that they were going to charge her extra on top of her copays. That would be illegal. That's against the Joni has. I'm so glad Psycho Joni is not against me this time. She's already filed. She's filed cases with the state pharmacy board, and they talked to one investigator, and another investigator's calling her back. She's called Medicaid, and Medicaid is opening an investigation. Folks, when you take insurance, you are at a contracted price to honor the copay, whatever you've agreed to. You
That's
can't.
right.
So Joni, she take her medicine late February. She goes through the donut hole or whatever, and she comes out there. She's got extra help on her because she's disabled, and so at a certain point in the year, her medicine becomes free, no copays. Her medicine turned free on February 29th, and they charged her $48 for that medicine that was free. They are risking their entire business because you know that if they're doing it to everybody who comes to the pharmacy, that pharmacy is going to go under. There's no way that the state of Alabama is going to allow that to happen.
Scott, it sounds like you're married to my wife because you had better behave yourself because it sounds like her attorney would be saying, Mr. Beard, do you have any dreams? Because she's going to get those too.
I'm like, I like to see Bitchy Johnny out as long as Bitchy Johnny is messing with somebody else.
She's holding. Every once in a while, Scott will wake up in the bed and and Joni's got a CPAP machine, a hose bent so no air's coming through it.
Oh no, she wears one too. She knows not to play with that because when our power went off yesterday morning, all I hear is I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" Because I was in the bathroom and she was just before getting up. She's like, "That's the worst feeling in the world is to lose power and that damn CPAP quit blowing air. Now you're struggling against that damn mask in your face." Yeah.
You know, we've actually thought about getting a battery backup. You know, just a cheap like one for computers to hook to ours, just so at least when the power goes off, it would go beep 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 to let you know that the power is off. But
Yeah,
we wouldn't still wake up choking like you were just talking about doing.
Yeah, the thunderstorms woke me up, so I went ahead and got up because it was booming the house, but she slept through it. And yeah.
Good morning, Craig. You're never banned here.
But I mean, people, just the sheer stupidity of people who think that they can do things and not get caught is amazing.
Isn't it?
Oh,
It really is.
you can put everybody else back on the screen. I know
Well, I didn't know whether you were finished or not.
I'm probably scaring everybody awake this morning, but
Let me do something real quick. Like,
That's
good morning, Craig. Good morning, Jake. I'm glad to see you. You out evicting people today. Who else did I miss in here? Tactical Z. Good morning to you too.
JT Joni is today's mission is to get all of her prescriptions back to Walgreens.
Good morning, Javis.
Hey, Scott.
Who
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
use now?
It's a little local pharmacy.
Oh, okay.
They're whatever that chain is, a little green bubble.
Okay.
They're loosely affiliated with something RX. Yes, Julie.
Something I've been wanting to say to you for a little bit, now don't get mad at me, but remember a couple years ago when I tried to tell you Saban was going to retire? I love you too, honey.
If it was, if they didn't change everything with the money and everything, he'd still be coaching.
I believe that. I do. I believe that.
College sports are in the process of being ruined because of. I agree that they need to be paid, but this year to year free agency and you can tamper with anybody and nobody gets. Yeah, this is insane. This is like worst case scenario. They need to make them sign contracts and honor these contracts, and then if you're going to get paid, there needs to be a contract.
Do you really think these schools have pass or play policies for these boys? Really need to do good? I mean, their studies come first.
Depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
I would have told you when I was in school in Alabama, probably not. But Saban demanded that. I mean, there's such a standard here now. People don't realize Saban graduated more players than almost anybody, and including ACC schools and all these big schools, just because he determined that excellence in the classroom and that kind of dedication meant dedication on the field and the preparation. Because he taught, and I 100% believe it, that you can't be slack in one part of your life and mentally sharp on the other. You can't turn on and turn off. It has to stay.
Makes sense.
Don't you know, Julie? Alabama's got the best team money can buy.
Yes.
I guess y'all talking about college sports. I don't know.
Y'all had a year off. Y'all just wait till next year. Y'all had a year off. When we're back destroying y'all again, then what y'all gonna say?
Yes, really? Tom, I do know that, and I did tell you I'm going to the doctor to have my brain checked.
Yeah.
Man.
That sounds about right, Javis. For some people, I like I said, I can't identify with this postal thing, other than I don't know what the deal is with this med stuff, but I ordered some stuff from Scott, and 2 days later, it was at my house.
Javis, that's crazy.
And the same thing from Jake. I mean, I got stuff quick. To me, it's quick, and it was just they didn't prior. Maybe Jake prior emailed mine, but
there's certain parts of the country. I know Indianapolis is still struggling. There's certain distribution centers that are terrible, but
it just boggles my mind because my postal carriers and people they do a great job. The local folks.
Our local are wonderful. I mess with our postmaster all the time.
Ka-ching.
Like today, I'm going to the post office today just because she works the window on Tuesdays when Jason's off. I usually get there right at the end. I'm like, I just wanted to see a look on your face, see what kind of day you had. And she starts laughing. She goes, I'm ready to lock the door right now. She's like, I was ready to lock the door 2 hours ago.
But
big girls.
I'll tell you what, I'm learning that I never want to get on the bad side of Joni or Julie. Dang.
Those girls in there too.
Those girls are.
Well, we learned from the best. You know who we learned from in this reseller thing? Well, Joni might have been that way her whole life, but I had to learn.
Joni's been crazy her whole life.
Do you want to guess the name of who a little bit of this orneyness came from?
Rake and Profit.
No. Her name started with a T. Scott knows.
I'm telling you right now. They told Johnny told her back. She goes, I remember the conversation. You said that the prices are going up, so the copays are going up. And that's not. And she said that's exactly what. And when she started telling Joni she was lying, Johnny was. Oh, she was hot. Ooh. Oh yeah, there was many. That was no fun too. I can't tell you how many weeks we'd be going for our weekly dinner somewhere, and Dusty and I would piss off them too.
He is spoiled, lad.
Oh my god!
But you are right.
And they just gang up and spew venom everywhere. I'm like,
It is getting so expensive to eat out. I
we
mean,
don't
really.
we don't eat
Uh,
out at all. We don't eat out at all.
we went Sunday. We went to. We met with my son and his wife, my daughter-in-law, and her father and sister-in-law, and for dinner. And we picked up the tab, and for four adults, 5 adults, 6 adults,
150
and,
bucks.
and 2 little kids
Yeah.
Oh well,
was
yeah, you're.
almost $600.
Ooh, yeah.
Where the hell did you eat?
Longhorn.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe it.
It's
That's our
just.
favorite steakhouse, and we haven't eaten there in years.
I told Roberta it'd be easier to build a new house with a bigger kitchen so everybody could get in there. Somebody mentioned, I think it. Oh, Good Morning Texas Bandit. I would love to have a Generac, but we would have to rewire the whole freaking house. So we're waiting for the new house, and it will have a Generac.
We like to take all of ours out to eat once a week. And when we do, it's 14 of us. Let me tell you, we are in the process right now of remodeling this house to make our kitchen and our living room bigger because we just can't do it anymore.
It's just I don't know how. Even if you go to McDonald's or something like that, it's you know time you buy, if you got little kids, time you buy 3 Happy Meals, mom and dad are sitting there watching the kids eat. Um, and I have a question. I was listening to some videos and I was talking to some friends. And is there anything in your homes that you consider, I mean, that you know, especially since you're in the retail business, that is expensive and you have told your kids, when I'm gone and this is yours, do not give it away? Because I watched a video and it was talking about this guy which last week we were talking about, can people come back and sue you for something that you bought for $3 and he's turned around and sold it for $600? And then Lag posted out where there's a case in France where a couple is suing this guy because he bought an item for like $150 and it sold for, what was it, Lag? $3 million, $300,000.
And that's their own fault. I mean,
That's what
especially in the U.S., it won't happen. I mean, they might. I think that the problem with the U.S. and the way you can fix our legal system, one of the big crooks in our legal system is if it was loser pays.
Yeah.
All these frivolous lawsuits that people bring, if they had to pay attorney's fees for both sides for losing, all this stuff would go away.
So have y'all talked to your? I mean, my mama's got a jug that's been in the family for about 150 years that we know of. We can track it back that far.
Is that fully your relatives or something? They just keep pouring
Yeah,
dust?
from our relatives, that it's just been passed down. It looks like my dad always said it was from my mom's family's moonshining days because it looks like a big moonshining jug with the lid, the wood stopper on top of it. And we have actually had somebody look at it who was a dealer, and a big dealer, and they said the stopper is what makes it so expensive, but it's worth a lot of money. Um, my oldest brother, it's just a jug. You can buy them a dime a dozen, you know. So, like I said, do you have anything in your house that you should tell your kids when I'm gone, even though you think it's a piece of junk, it is worth a bunch of money? You should,
I've already sold it, whatever it is.
You sent your child through college. You've already sold everything that was of value. Because I'm just surprised that people. And I was talking to a friend, and his aunt sold a bunch of china, and you would not think china would be expensive, but sold his grandmother's china, which was supposed to have been part of, like everybody would have had a choice at something after she passed away, and it was like a 20-piece place setting, all of the same china made in Japan during the occupation and all this kind of stuff. And it was appraised at about $30,000. They got like $200 for it. Because they were trying to jump the gun on it, trying to get money in it. But so like I said, that's the question. Do you have anything that you need to let your kids know to go easy on when you're selling this? Yeah, like I want to be at Gwen. No, I don't want to be at Gwen's garage sale because that means that Todd won't be around. But for you people that will go to Gwen's garage sale, you're gonna find some good stuff.
That's for sure.
I don't know where they sold it, where she sold it at. I think it was just to a local dealer or a collector or whatnot. But all my bikes, um, like I said, and even if it's not something, I mean, like I know, see, I don't know a lot about jewelry, but I know a lot of this costume jewelry that has certain brands of costume jewelry goes for some good money because I watch
That's what I do. Jewelry. That's my business. That's what I do on eBay. Is jewelry.
Texas. Is her Teresa? The girl down in Texas, long red hair.
Texas gal.
Maybe I think that's it. I'll catch some of her videos, and she talks about jewelry and whatnot.
Hmm.
And like I said, especially like Todd, who collects that stuff, he's got boxes and boxes and boxes of costume jewelry that he bought at auction. Some of it might be worth some money. So, am
My,
I am I making any sense at all, or
my mother's got more costume jewelry. Field is building up. She's collected it her, and she'll tell you, you need to learn this stuff because every piece of it got a name on it, and some of it's worth just as much as the regular stuff.
good morning,
Yep.
Jennifer?
You'd be surprised.
So like I said,
You just
that really doesn't have anything to do with reselling. But what does the show really have to say about reselling? But it's a point that people need to put out to their put out there to their children. Unless your children are greedy bastards and you don't want them to know about
yeah,
anything because they'll knock you off for it.
yeah. Mother's house is full of old stuff, so but she knows that she don't have to say anything because she knows we'll figure it out. But like all the dachshunds, her house is full of ceramic boxes and mess. There's some of those that are German. They're worth $600, $700, $800 a piece. She's
Good
got
morning,
one with
Jennifer.
a dachshund taking a crap. That one is worth.
Okay.
That one's worth a lot of money because it's something you don't see. Let's see what it's worth.
So, like I said, I'm just kind of concerned. We've pretty much kept our kids in the loop about stuff like that. Um, because we have a lot of junk in here. I have some first editions that are not worth a lot of money. They're worth $500 or $600, but you take 100 books at $500 or $600, that starts going into some pretty good money when it just sits on a shelf. But like I said, that's just kind of a concern.
Tom,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna tell you something that somebody told to me several years ago. I used to worry about that too. Let them keep what means the most to them, even if it's worth a whole bunch of money. Don't worry about it. Because you know how things ebb and flow, and right now it might be worth a whole bunch of money, but by the time you're gone, it might not be worth nothing. Don't worry about it.
They need to spend some time the sales guy Tactical Z, you're not right. Um, I just don't want them to be giving away money
I
because
know.
they're in a hurry to clean out the house, or because they think that the real estate is where the money's at. But there could be as much stuff in the house worth as much as or more than the house.
Yeah, there could be.
So anyway, that's just my question. Has anybody even thought about that?
Don't sell my Playboy collection.
Mm-mm.
That's right. Does anybody? I mean, have you thought about that? Especially the older folks that start thinking about Todd. I mean, Scott, this is something you need to start thinking about is your estate planning. Since you're getting on up there, you think about stuff like that,
You do. With what,
and
with what I might be looking at, I'm thinking about it right now. None of my kids have any interest in this business. None. I have a daughter who's worked with me in it. She don't care nothing about it. None of them want it. I'm thinking about selling it or just giving it to somebody. I don't know. I don't know what you can do with your eBay account legally. If they'd have to close it if I can just pass them my customers or I don't know. But to me, I don't know. I guess I've just gotten to the point that it's not real important anymore.
Scott, can you sell an eBay account?
Yeah. So here you go. Y'all think I'm crazy? There's the little bitty dachshund pooping. You see what they're asking for it.
But
Holy.
It's $225. It is so rare. It's made by Rosenthal.
Hmm.
How
no,
little it is. I mean, you see the person's hand. It's so itty bitty. They did a terrible job with background, but yeah, it's a little bitty thing. That's not even the expensive one. She's got some that are worth $1,000 a piece. There, because you got to remember a lot of that porcelain from Germany. Rosenthal is a big German name that makes them. Some of the bigger figures because they're just so old they get chipped. That's where those dogs were bred from. They're a lot of money in them little bitty figures.
I agree, Pedlin. I agree.
Well, a lot of that probably got lost during World War II. It just was destroyed. So the rarity, yeah.
And grandkids.
Because on eBay right now, you know how many are on eBay right now?
How many?
2.
How many has been
Unless
sold?
that might be the same one. It might be just the one. No, this one they want $350 for it.
Well, put yours down. Well, she's said put yours, but it's still hers.
Oh my god, that's why you gotta watch. You know why you have to watch eBay for some things that you know about? Because some dumbass sold one for $25. They didn't know what it was. They sold it for $25. That's a sold.
That's probably one of the ones that's in one of the other
Uh-huh.
ads.
That's what I was going to say.
They had no idea what it was. $25.
Has anybody ever done that? Went sourcing on eBay.
Yeah, I sourced there a lot.
Daily.
So, Julie, you handle mostly jewelry.
Uh-huh.
Is it like costume jewelry or like real
It
jewelry
is.
like Todd does?
It's costume. Normally when I come across something real, somebody takes it from me. So, it finds a home here.
Lord,
But yeah,
if Gwen took all the silver and gold jewelry that Todd finds, she would look like she was from the Gilded Age. She'd be walking around with so many rings on her hands,
Cleopatra.
and she would never wear the same one more than once a year. So Todd has
Right.
Todd immediately lists it.
Yeah, I do. I deal with mostly costume and a lot of junk jewelry too, believe it or not. It's used for things you'd never imagine. I have doctors buy boxes of junk jewelry from me, therapists.
Right.
It's it's really turned I started on eBay way back when you had to send a check in the mail or a money order.
Right.
But this account I started right before COVID, and when COVID hit, it took off because people were trying to think out of the box and they were trying to come up with something else to do. And I was selling my regular pieces of jewelry, but I was ending up with bins and bins of just crap. And I was taking it back to Goodwill, and I started thinking, no way, what are you doing? You paid for this stuff. So
Shoot.
I started making boxes out of it. And it immediately took off. Immediately. And we sell several different sizes. We offer several different types. But this is why I can go to Disney and still work. And I've been wanting to share this with other resellers. I have a 5-day handling time. I am still top rated. My stuff is still at the top of the page. It doesn't affect me at all. But it allows me to ship ahead enough to have a whole week off. So I can go on vacation and not have to worry about eBay for a whole week because I can ship ahead for that whole entire week. If we're
That's
gone
right.
longer than a week, I have to take things with me. But it's the trick that some people might want to try if they're not, next day people. We just have too many orders. I have a girl that gets here at 10 o'clock every day and helps me with orders. Uh,
So when you buy this jewelry, you go through it and pick out the good stuff.
I did at first. I have stopped selling individual pieces. I stopped selling individual pieces about 3 years ago because there was no time. The sales were so intense on the boxes, I had to concentrate on the boxes. So now when I open a box, if it looks like mostly metal, it goes in one bin. If it looks like mostly plastic, it goes in another bin. And when we pack our boxes, we just grab by the handful and just shove it. We go as fast as we can. So people get gold, they get silver, I got feedbacks. Woohoo! I found this and I found that, and it's great. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So,
Do you have? Is it like you just fill up like a priority box or a 4x4
yeah,
by six box?
the 3 pound size is a small flat rate priority box, and it's so stuffed I have to tape around it, but it's stuffed and it's full and it's exciting. I write on the front of it, and there's several YouTube videos with our boxes in them. Um, I've got a girl now who's doing our social media. I'm not a social media person. I will never have a YouTube channel. The first time I started going on Dwayne's channel when we would do those Friday night auctions, I was scared to death.
Uh, uh, Julie, if you don't mind, you can put your store name because Jennifer wants to know what your store name is. You can put it in the chat so people can see it.
Okay, before I do that,
Okay, let me put a preempt there. Lag, leave her alone unless you're buying. Craig, do not send her stupid ass questions. Okay, continue. Go ahead, Julie.
well, we'll see. I have had, this is going to sound even crazier than the post office situation. I used to be in several Facebook groups about jewelry. 3 years ago, I had to remove myself from all of them because I used to promote my business on Facebook a good bit. Um, I had a customer, I had a couple customers message me and say, you need to know about this. There's a group on Facebook and they're fixing to start buying from you to leave you negative feedback. I said, no, why would people pay money to do that? I don't believe you. She sent me some screenshots through eBay's messaging system. She's messaging me through eBay's messaging system. So I got eBay for Business involved on Facebook. They took care of it. As far as I know, 42 eBay accounts were suspended. Um, they did good, but it kind of continues to happen in little pockets. I got a message the other day. Well, no, it was back around Christmas, kind of telling me the same thing again. So my feedback is kind of whacked up, but you can see it comes in spurts. Like there'll be 5 negative feedback, 3 pages of positive, 3 negative feedback, and then pages and pages of positive. So I respond to those feedbacks. I respond to those negative feedbacks and I respond quite bluntly. And I've had sellers message me and say, "Yay, good for you. Get them buyers that act like that." I have a very long blocked list too. I just don't tolerate it. I don't tolerate it. I have enough good, kind, nice, responsible people buy from me that I just don't put up with anything like that.
Well, like I said, if you want to, you can put because Jennifer wants to know, and Jennifer's got a lot of money.
I'm just going to tell her, Jennifer is bringing happy home, all one word.
Say that again.
Bringing happy home.
Bringing happy home. So, Scott, what you got on your agenda today?
Nothing.
Todd, how did your pickup go on Friday? Or no, on Monday. I'm sorry. My days are all kind of running together.
I got a bunch of cool stuff. I'm gonna make a video about it, but let me ask a question real quick. I got this one piece.
Nobody cares about that knife.
What?
Todd.
I knew that's what was coming.
You pile of crap. I think
That's
Scott
it.
was pooped out by a dachshund. But this is a military fighting knife, and it was presented to General Pete Taylor. And General Pete Taylor, 2-star general, what do you call that, lieutenant general? He
Never
passed
heard of
away. He passed away November 4th, and they had this in the auction, and it was presented to him from the United States Marine Corps commanding general.
It's not like he's patent or anything, man.
But I mean, how would you sell it? Would you the knife itself, the knife and sheath are probably $125.
Just think about the generals we have now. I mean, do you want anything from Mali? Or the rest of them damn traitors?
And I don't know the year that it was presented, and it doesn't say the name of the Marine Corps general, but it does say Commanding General 1st Marine Expeditionary Force, Semper Fi. But I don't know. Does that make it more valuable that it was a presentation piece, or
Tactical says he'll give you $5 for it.
Yeah. I don't want smart aleck remarks. I want an answer. What would you? I mean, it's obviously a rare presentation piece.
Lag said too rich. He'd do $4.
It says, from your comrades in arms, the Marines of the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force.
Did he kill somebody within his office or anything?
I don't think so.
So, are you asking about like how much you should price it at, or should you, or
Yeah, how would you handle it? Would you take the knife out of the plaque and just sell the knife, or? I'd probably just sell it like that.
I would just leave it. I mean, I would leave it in the presentation plaque and price it high and see if anybody makes offers on it.
But yeah, I got all kinds of good stuff at the auction.
Did you get stuff that you didn't know you had in it? Or it was a pallets, or was
No,
it?
most of it was. No, individual stuff.
Oh, okay, because I know you get some good stuff when you buy your pallets.
Make videos cutting yourself so people know it's a real knife.
Okay.
Oh, that'll get a whole nother kind of following there.
I got a Canon AE1 program.
That's worth like $125.
I got a Canon QL
Never seen a QL.
QL17. They're about 100, 150.
Yeah, people like those old Canons for sure.
So anyway, I got all kinds of stuff.
Oh, by
So
the
did-
way,
Are there any other of those kind of presentation awards on eBay? Not necessarily knives, because not every group would do a knife. But that's what you got to research is
Yeah, I don't know.
presentation awards and see how they sell.
Oh, also,
toothbrush.
I don't know.
In camouflage.
Would just like the estate of the general just say, "Here, auction, take it and put it up for auction."
No, I wouldn't do that.
Would the family just say, "We got too much stuff from the general. We need to sell some of it in auction"? But this is like trench art.
Hey Ron, how come you didn't buy all this stuff? Why'd you let Todd get all this stuff?
But they're like bookends.
Todd, I'm sorry, I had to step out for a minute. So these came from the family of the general?
I don't know. I mean, they were
Oh.
just in the auction and I bought them.
Okay.
I mean, he died on November 4th. So I guess the family probably is just clearing
That's
some stuff
cool.
out that they don't want.
Yeah, there might have been super, super nice stuff that everybody took, and this was just the leftover. But still.
I mean, I'm sure a 2-star general can accrue a lot of stuff during his lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So
We live in a military town. You ought to see the stuff we see around here.
I don't know. How would you sell this piece? This has got
I'd sell it as bookends.
emblems for all the units he served with.
Yeah. So in the title, I would put those units because other soldiers might want those, and I would sell them as a set of bookends, I think.
What did you say? Because Roberta was messaging me and I wasn't paying attention. What are the brass? Is that shell casings?
Yeah, they're cannon shell casings.
Cool.
It's like trench art.
Mm-hmm.
So
the bookends look cool. They don't go with my motif, but they're cool looking.
Mm-hmm, they are cool.
but they got his name.
Are they hollow?
That's got his name inscribed on it right there.
Yeah, they're empty. Could even. You think it would hold water?
Well, they're filled with some clay or something
Right.
Oh, okay.
to give them some weight.
Yeah.
But
I was just trying to think of another keyword for you.
Todd would stick $50 bills down in it, and hide them from Gwen and the boys. What is that?
what, Anissa?
Check out that military beauty.
Oh, Anissa's got something to show.
Not hers, but
Well,
the reseller in town.
This
Talking about military.
this general did 2 tours of duty in Vietnam,
Mm-hmm.
but he did 2 years as the commander of Fort Hood, which is now Fort Cavazos.
I vote we change it back.
Yep, they're changing back. Fort Benning has already gone back. We've already changed the signs and everything.
And why did they change them?
Why or when?
Why did they change them from like Fort Bennett?
They changed them to another general's name because they felt like Fort Benning, because Benning was a general back in the Confederacy, that it was had a racist tone to it. So they
Uh,
changed.
so
So
they
now they got
spent $100 million rebranding everything.
Back in those 4 years where we didn't have a president and the
Yeah.
liberal group ran
Yeah.
the country, that those 4 years, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Well, nothing against General Cavazos. I'm sure he was a good general, but Hood was a Confederate general, so there were a lot of people, I guess, some people that didn't like the base being named Fort Hood, even though it was for 100 years.
Yeah, that's why they changed all of them. That's why North Carolina's bases got changed too, didn't they, Tom?
I can't tell you whether they did or not.
Bragg and
Yeah,
Pope.
Brad got changed, didn't it? I don't know. I just know during Clinton administration, he shut down a lot of South Carolina military bases. So, anybody from Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio? There is a guy who is like the brand person for Carnival Cruise Lines. He posted a April Fool joke today. He says, "I'm proud to announce that our newest cruise port is going to be Cleveland, Ohio." And people were like, "Woohoo, woohoo!" And then you scroll down a little bit and says, "Wait a minute, Cleveland doesn't." Cleveland does not even touch the coastline. But it was pretty cool because I was like, Cleveland, Ohio. But anyway,
Yeah,
I
they got
thought
a
it was
river,
cute.
but
Yeah, I don't think you can float a cruise ship down through it. Even though it seems like when you're going out of
riverboat.
Charleston or I have Orlando, it feels like it takes forever. Like you're about St. Louis, 3 hours east of it. Anyway, that was just my little April Fool's Day. Since today is April Fool's Day,
Sorry.
doesn't like have a holiday basement in Cleveland, Ohio. I think he does because he likes to go over there and wander around the underground and at all those amusement parks. So, anything else good stuff, Todd?
Oh, I don't know, just stuff. I got a lot of knives, like a Leatherman and a lot of military surplus stuff, and I got a big old tote of scrubs, medical scrubs. I got just tons of stuff. But yeah, bunch of different knives. Speaking of K-bar, I got a K-bar hunting knife.
Right. Is that got the leather wrapped handle?
Yeah, it's got the leather, the stacked leather. It's not wrapped.
Right.
You can see the individual leather pieces in it. It's a K-bar 1208.
Uh, and this wants to know if the scrubs have any patterns.
I haven't looked at them yet. They were just in a great big old tote. I think the top one was like plain green or something.
Hey Tom, what were you doing yesterday?
Why?
Because I know I found you on the internet.
Oh, you're such an asshole.
Is that Angry Grandma?
Oh,
is
it's some dude who claims to be a woman who founded the Trans Day of Visibility.
That's all we've had for the last 4 years.
That's one trans that would probably
like-
be better
looks like-
not being visible.
Looks like Danny DeVito in drags, what it looks like.
Yeah. Lag, be quiet. Let the adults talk. You know we love you, Lag. We really do. Chessie says might do better to sell the plain ones in a lot. The scrubs, Chastity.
Yeah. I got a little bit of stereo equipment. I got a Kenwood cassette deck. And with the cassette deck came a whole bunch of cassettes, like 4 boxes of cassettes, but they're all either country or homemade dubs.
Oh, you're 21 years old now, Lag. Scott, how is and I'm sorry, I was busy all weekend. How was the Whatnot show going?
It's fine. I just gotta. I want to sell different stuff on there. I just gotta start sourcing that stuff. So I'm making plans this weekend.
Which direction you going to go? More expensive stuff, less expensive stuff?
Like vintage decor and vintage salvage stuff.
Shut
Vintage
up,
what?
Jabez.
Vintage decor and a lot of that stuff that I have not bought
Be
before.
right back.
Okay, you're going to start hammering into Jennifer's Market.
Yeah. So Williams Rustic Salvage is probably more of the model. Theirs is more not as. It's more toward the salvage side. Yeah, I mean, you should watch those guys. They've built a pretty good following over there, and it's amazing what sells in that category.
What's its name again?
Williams Rustic Salvage.
Okay.
The Odie and Amy, they do a show every. He does one by himself Friday, and then they do a show Sunday morning together.
That's on Whatnot.
Right. They were big eBay sellers. 3,000 and 4,000 items in their store, been for years. And when they started dying last year at this time, I told him, hey, everybody, hey, check out Whatnot might be the answer for some people. And check out a girl named Bree, Upcycle by Bree. And they were fascinated by it. So they started Whatnot and struggled for a couple months until they found the category they're in now. And they currently have 45 eBay listings. They sold everything else, and all they do is 2 Whatnot shows a week.
Okay, let me ask you something. When you go to like Williams Rustic Salvage and the screen pops up his page, it's got all of these items on it. Is that for upcoming auctions, or is that what you could buy it now, or should it say?
They do have buy it nows. That they've got some static listings, and
Okay.
but they most of it is as they go through the week. When he finds stuff, they go ahead and build the
auction.
They're building the auctions for Friday and Sunday.
They got a lot of cool stuff.
Hey, Tom, I want to say thanks for letting me come in. I got to get to work. I got to get these orders printed. She's going to get here, and I ain't even going to have them done.
Okay. Have a great day, Julie.
Hi,
Everything
Julie.
goes.
Good to talk to you.
Yeah.
You too. I'll come in again, okay?
All right. Anybody's welcome to come in. I mean,
All right.
I'm not just saying that, but yes, come in. Do come in.
You
don't have to leave just because Scott got here, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I've got to get to work. I do. And I just want to leave you one more thing. Go Dogs.
Go dog.
Uh-oh.
Is that as in the Bulldogs, Scott?
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, what a bunch of losers.
That's what I was. That's
Poor
what I was
misguided Georgia Bulldogs. Yeah.
Um,
all this stuff is looks like you can buy any of this stuff.
so Whatnot is twofold. You can go ahead and put stuff up for buy it now, and you can also
Right.
do listings. That's a pretty good idea. Why does eBay not do that? Because it would probably shut their servers down.
They've supposedly been working on eBay Live forever, but I think they have missed the boat.
I'm I'm kind of tired today, Anissa. I'm kind of floating it this morning. Speaking of shows, next Thursday I will not be able to do a show because the carpet people will be here.
Are you gonna hang up more curtains for them too?
No, this floor has ceramic tile on the floor, so I don't have to. I'm gonna be closing this off for them. I mean, I'm gonna be closing it off, but they'll be banging and slamming around the rest of the house. So I told Roberta it'd be a good time to go ahead and move because everything's in pods and in a storage unit. Um, but alas, not happening. I'm just not as rich as Todd. I looked at Josh's or part of Josh's video where he flew to Myrtle Beach to golf. Did they stay the weekend or was that just for the day? Scott?
I wasn't listening to you. Joni sent me a text.
Oh, okay. I know how that is. You got to pay attention to her. Was Josh down in Myrtle Beach for just the day or did he stay the weekend?
Who is Josh Jones?
Huh?
Who is Josh Jones?
I didn't say Josh Jones, did I? Josh Galt.
Yes, he was. And he was there for 5 hours.
5 hours to play golf.
No, he was. It was a business meeting. They just did it while they play golf.
Well, I know that, but I was just saying,
A part of it was, and then they finished it there. I don't know anything about it. John and I are just peons. We don't know anything.
Okay.
We're not worthy to know anything.
I've talked about the friend of mine that's a corporate pilot. His boss will fly from Atlanta to San Francisco, sit through a 2-hour meeting, and turn around and fly all the way back to Atlanta. That's about $30,000 worth of fuel right there. Not including landing fees and all that kind of hours on your plane and whatnot. Yeah, lag. You know what, lag? Anytime you get really bored, if you hit that little X up in the corner, your right-hand corner of the screen, you don't have to listen to it anymore.
Well, that was some fancy jet that he flew on.
Yeah, looked like
Yeah, that's the kind that's flying in and out of this airport behind me.
yeah, it looked like a Citation or a Citation class.
All right, I'm going to eat breakfast.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, Todd, did you have any other cool finds before we wrap this thing up? What is that?
What is what?
That leathery looking thing on your.
It's the
Yes.
case for the
Okay.
camera.
Okay. So anyway, if anybody wants to try their hand at having a show, hosting a show, next Thursday would be a good time because I won't be here. I can't be here. I might be remote, but I can't get to my computer. So think about it. And if Todd doesn't feel like doing one, then there just won't be a show.
I'll probably do one.
So Todd, thank you. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Julie, for coming in here. Thank you, all of you fine people that come in here and hang out with us. Hey, Glenn. American Honey, I don't think I said good morning to you either. Anybody else I miss? Yeah, I'm over on my allotment. So anyway, y'all have a great day. Make it a great day. Do some listing. Have a margarita or two. Something. Anyway, bye bye.
Bye.